Hey everybody, it's Shannon Marin here, and welcome to another video on second home vacation location. Today, I am pleased to announce Frederic and Noemie from Alma Developments. You're going to want to stay tuned for this one because this is a fabulous place in Mexico that you're going to want to check out. Welcome, you two. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you for having us. Good morning.
Oh, I can't wait to share this. I'm so excited about your project that you're working on.
Thank you so much.
We are as well.
Before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourselves and tell our viewers, who you are, maybe a bit about how you came up with the brainchild of Alma.
Well, first we can say that
It's a long story.
It's a long story, but to make it short,
Okay.
we are French, as you can tell by my accent, and we are a couple as well. So we are partner in life and partners in business as well. And we started that journey when we left France 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. And we decided to try. The idea in the very beginning was to try to mix our competences, our skills, and try to find the right place to live, to invest, and to work. So we've been traveling a lot. So we spent 2 years on
2 years on the road,
Yeah.
looking for the perfect place for Alma to come true. And we've been looking at amazing places out of Asia, out of the Americas, and then one day we got into Huatulco, Oaxaca, Mexico.
Beautiful Huatulco.
Absolutely. And this is where we had not only a crush for, because it is beautiful and it is still a little secluded, but not too much because you have lights, but it's very protected. But it also ticked a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what were the boxes that you were looking to tick?
First, we were looking for a place that was interesting to develop at the right time. Timing is extremely important. As a developer, when you're looking for the right place, you're also looking for the right time. And especially in Asia, for example, in the beginning, we were thinking a lot about Asia because we love that part of the world. You've been living in China
for
5 years.
A number of years, yes.
And
Nice.
I used to get there also very often, and we really wanted to get there. So when we left France, we went to Asia and we traveled extensively in a lot of countries, and we never found not only the right place, but also the right time. Because very often we felt we were arriving too early. There was everything to do, but it's tough to attract the people when you start from scratch and there is nothing.
If there is no flight, if there is no city, if there is just a jungle, it's beautiful, you love it, but then how do you make people come, right?
Yeah.
And too often it was the feeling of arriving too late because it was already too polluted, too busy, too many people. And we wanted to bring something new because we have a huge background in architecture, in environment, and in real estate development. So we combined all of this and we wanted to bring it into a new market, bringing something new at the right time. So it's been a quest, I would say. And it's pretty tough. And after almost more than 1 year and a half in Asia, we realized, okay, maybe it's not the right place. So we moved to the Americas. And when we arrived by chance in Mexico, we felt pretty quickly that, could be the right place. It ticks a lot of boxes. And as we are very much involved into architecture and nature, it was very important for us to find a place where we can express ourselves, where we can work with great local architects, and where we can develop a project in a very good way. I mean, with sustainable features. And to be able to do that, you need to do that in the right place. I mean, in a place where there is there is already the recipe. For example, Huatulco, we traveled a lot in Mexico as well. And a lot of Mexican people told us about Huatulco, mentioning, okay, you have to go to that place. Not only it's beautiful, but it's made for you. It's made for your project. Because that
Yes.
city developed 40 years ago by the government, just like Cancun, for example, or Ixtapa, close
Yep.
to where you're located today.
Yep.
or Cap.
Yep, exactly.
And the idea, because it was almost the last one they developed, the idea was to make like a lab.
A prototype.
A prototype, yeah.
Totally. It's an environmental prototype here in Huatulco. They've started off with like making a big national park in the city and having a lot of other preserved areas.
Yes.
Having amazing water treatment plants so that the water doesn't just go like into the ocean, which is pretty rare in Mexico. Like a lot of places, you have to build your own digester or whatever like system you have. Here it's all planned. So this we kind of really liked. And at the same time, we recognized in Huatulco that there was perhaps a lack of modern architecture. And this is what we liked into it too, because then that was our chance to express ourselves and bring a great architect from Mexico City and do something that's like in an environmental, I would say, frame, do something that's architecturally really forward compared to the rest of Huatulco. So it's where we found that matching thing.
Yeah, the blend of everything really works, and people are gonna be so excited to see what you're bringing to the market with the, like you said, you know, Huatulco is a place where, you know, they don't want to ruin it. They don't want to make it another Playa del Carmen or something like that. You know, they want to keep it very, very green, very lush, you know, protect the beaches and the forests and the jungles and everything. You know, and keep it very authentic as well. But you're right, it is missing a development like Alma because there isn't anything like that, you know, some of, you know, the location for one, where the project is, and two, you know, that kind of architecture that you're talking about that we're going to talk more about. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry,
go ahead.
One of the boxes that ticks Huatulco as well is it's private land. So it changes a lot of stuff, a lot of things, because here in Mexico, sometimes it can be difficult because of communal land. But here, everything is private land. And Huatulco is still going into the right direction because we have a lot of urbanism rules. So most of the construction, especially oceanfront, are no more than 3 or 4 floors. So it's very reasonable, very integrated, and very respectful. And it's perfect for us because we always try to hide, I would say.
Blend.
Blend. Blend is the right term.
Blend into the landscape, into the jungle, make sure it's not too visible. I think we can really talk about like a discrete kind of architecture, like never above the tree line, with as much native vegetation as possible. We try to make like to be respectful of what we have, and Huatulco has just announced more national parks in the city. So now 50% of the city is protected. We're next to a national park. Like that's the next neighbor.
That's
really want to make sure we don't ruin that, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's the next neighbor around us.
Yes,
Behind us, national park, on both sides, national park. And in front of us, Pacific Ocean.
And the waters of
but the water is the national park as well.
It's fantastic.
It's just
like
an absolute beautiful setting. So what about amenities? So you're in this beautiful national park or bordering it, bordering the ocean. So what about amenities as far as getting into Huatulco, getting to beaches, that kind of thing? How's all that in comparison?
First amenity, I would say, is nature. So we keep a lot of trees, we keep a lot of native, as you mentioned, nature, and it's going to be extremely helpful because it brings us the shade that we need in that tropical environment. The architecture, we're going to talk about it, but the architecture is really adapted to the environment. Here it's very hot. We really need to protect from the sun. So we try to conceive something that is not AC boxes. We have ACs, we have windows, we have mosquito nets as well. We can close everything if you want to, if you need to. but we can leave all open all day long and all night long if we want, because we have huge overhanging roofs, that kind of things that bring a lot of shade. And of course, the trees. Regarding the nature as well, we have a beach, a beautiful virgin beach that is just nearby the project, and we have direct access to that beach. And that beach, if you want to walk there, if you're not part of Alma, you need to walk between 15 and 20 minutes in the mangrove, which is beautiful, but it means that not a lot of people get there. So that beach is really protected. And it's one of the 36 beaches we have here in Huatulco.
But at the same time, we're only 3 minutes away from another beach that's like one of the only beaches that have disabled access in the country, and the only one in Oaxaca. So it's just like you're just steps away from a virgin beach, and you're at the same time only 3 minutes away from one of the most accessible beaches in the country, which is, of course, there are more people, but that also means you can go all the time in whichever your condition is.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
So the amenities in the project, we have several swimming pools. The project is made of villas mostly and a few condos. So it's 36 villas and 10 condos only. Each villa comes with its own infinity private pool. And we are talking about salted, I don't know if I say it well, salted pools. So not
saltwater
no chemicals.
Yeah.
And we also have 2 huge swimming pools. One is 33 meters long,
Wow.
33.3 to be exact. So you know when you swam 1 kilometer, for example. And this one is just hanging on a cliff in front of the ocean. It's just an amazing view.
Yeah.
And the other one is 25 meters long. It's right in the middle of the project. Also, it comes with a beautiful ocean view, sorry. We also have a gym, a very nice gym, jacuzzi, and we also have a semi-subterranean spa, which comes with a sauna, plunge pool, cold plunge pool,
massage area, relaxation area,
a concierge service, and also a private luxury shuttle to bring you to all the beaches that are surrounding Alma.
And there's many beaches. I mean, there's Cacaluta just like 5-minute drives away, and then 20 minutes into the mangrove. You have, of course, Violin, which is a little climb down, a little harder to get to, but for like very fit people, it's one of the most enjoyable beaches of Huatulco. Órgano is the one next to the project. Entrega is very near. Santa Cruz is where you get the cruise ships. So for a lot of people, it's a great entertainment. There are lots of restaurants in there. Maguey is very close. I mean, it's close to so many beaches that you can go with the shuttle.
I love the idea of the shuttle, though, because, I mean, if you're using your villa for vacation rental or something like that too, or if you're living there full time, it's just nice to have the access, I mean, there's a lot of people that maybe don't want to drive in Mexico, right? So it's very nice that you offer that service with the villa.
However, Huatulco is so well urbanized, and all the boulevards are so large. I would really compare driving in Huatulco to driving in Europe or driving in the US. Compared to other places of Mexico, it's less of a chaos for sure.
Yes.
But what we also liked in this place in Alma, you have like 8 miles, or I think it's 10 kilometers or 11 kilometers of biking and running lanes just right out of the property. So you can go and loop and run and jog in the morning or bike into dedicated lanes, which is pretty amazing. And that takes you to a number of beaches as well.
Actually, everything is close.
It's
from the lot, for example, from Alma's location, it looks far away. We seem to be
very secluded.
We feel like being at the end of the world, but actually there is just that lovely scenic road that is just passing by. Almost no one is passing over there because it's just scenic road. It's not the main road. People that want to go to these beaches, for example, they take another road. And from there, you're just a 4-minute drive away from Santa Cruz. So the first bars and restaurants, and 8 minutes
Gas
away
station.
from
I
There's-
love that.
Yeah.
I
Very
love
easy.
that you have that feeling of seclusion, like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but you know, everything you need is right there.
Yeah.
And I also love, we'll talk more about the design of the villas and all of that, but I love how each villa has a border of greenery so that you don't feel like your neighbor is right there as well, right? Talk about more about the villas and let us know what the design's like.
Sure. The design were actually the villas were designed in a way that I mean a little bit like thinking outside the box.
Okay.
Normally you would have two walls on the sides and a view in front of you, and that would be a normal villa. In the case of Alma, we've decided to actually open all the sides and to put those walls slightly outside the villas, letting the green enter the villas and still have a privacy with your neighbors. So you share a wall, but the wall is not in your villa, it's in between the villas. And that creates buffers of greenery around the house.
Wonderful.
And of course, shade and air. And it's, I mean, of course, it's more beautiful than just walls.
Right.
So it's really nice. It frames the landscape. It lets the nature in, this abundant nature that we have here. So yeah,
Beautiful.
it was designed in
Yeah.
like thinking a little bit outside the box.
We worked with great architect, Mexican architect. From the very beginning, it was obvious for us that we had to work with Mexican architect because when we arrived here, we pretty quickly discovered that there is a huge architectural trend and current here in Mexico. We met a lot of very, very good Mexican architects, and they have their own style. We can now recognize. So of course there is a lack of typical Mexican stuff with all the cupolas and things that are pretty famous. But the modern Mexican architecture is a huge trend that started early in the 20s, and now it's pretty famous worldwide. And so we hired an architect called Jose Juan Rivera Rio in Mexico City. He's now pretty well famous, and he's been working for Alma with another company that we really like very much, which is called Modica Ledesma from Mexico City as well. And both of them are used to work all together in all Mexico and sometimes abroad, and especially on the coast. They've done tremendous job. So the idea from the beginning was to offer something that is really open with a lot of shade, as you mentioned, a lot of cross ventilation. Here, it saves your life, especially if you don't.
That's important rather than having
the
air conditioning all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been living here for more than 3 years now and full time. So we know how is it to be here in the winter, but also in the summer when it's hot and humid. So it was a very good experience. So we created all these villas and the condos as well, because they have the same architectural language. We created them having everything we experienced in mind. So shade, cross ventilation. For example, the swimming pool is right in front of your windows because the water from the water pools helps to cool down the air that get into your place. And we added, for example, like green roofs everywhere, because a green roof will help you reduce the temperature in your bedroom, for example, around 4 degrees without using energy. So, and it helps to
fans
blend.
and ventilators everywhere. Like some places here only barely have one and you have the AC, but if you have them everywhere and you have cross ventilation and it's in the shade, then obviously it's much more fresh.
Yeah, it makes for very, very comfortable living.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, and I mean, the less you can use an AC unit, the better off you're going to be health-wise, comfort-wise, all of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's excellent. Like so much thought has gone into your plan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So quick thing about the villas now. Now what's the square footage, the price points, condo versus villas? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
We have as I mentioned, condos and villas. The condos, we start with 2-bedroom condos.
Okay,
We only have one left.
Yes.
And the size is, can we talk in square meters?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So that one is 180 square meters,
okay,
pretty big.
okay.
Including a huge terrace. Actually, we have 130 square meters inside and 50 square meters outside, but covered with a huge
wow.
overhanging roof. So a lot of shade, as we mentioned.
Very
And we sell in Mexican pesos because we
Yes.
have a Mexican company. We are in Mexico, so we sell in pesos.
Yep.
So prices, of course, in USD or in Canadian dollars are changing all the time. But as of today, for example, just to give you an idea, the price for this one in Canadian dollars would be 890,000.
Okay, okay.
Always more difficult with the numbers. And in
Yes.
USD, 664,000 USD.
Okay,
So it's our
okay.
starting price. So the price per square meters in USD, for example, is around 3,700, which is right in the market here, but with development that have less amenities, less architecture, and way more density. Because
Right.
we have a very low density, we didn't mention that, but we use half of the density that we
Love
are
that.
allowed to use on that lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because you
uh,
could have done a mass development
yeah,
and
yeah.
crammed it
were-
all in there like
Yeah.
normal, right?
We were in fact allowed to do 83 units and we're only building 46.
Mm.
So
That's wonderful.
it's reasonable.
Yeah,
So-
it is. And the price point for a luxury home, the starting, even though you only have one left there, but that's, it's a very reasonable price for
It
a
is.
luxury home, so.
With insane views onto the national park and onto the ocean.
The lighthouse.
I mean, the lighthouse, it's
Yeah,
pretty fantastic.
Pools,
I mean,
amenities,
yes,
comfortable
absolutely.
living, all of it.
Yeah, we will break ground next summer. So these are the pre-construction prices. So expect
Okay.
them to increase
Of
in the
course.
future. So of course,
Yeah.
people that are buying now, it's a bargain, I would say, because at
Of
that
course.
price, that level of quality and that location, we know that
Yes.
it's a very good bargain. But yeah, as soon as we break ground, of course, the prices are going to increase.
Excellent.
In Huatulco here, we saw that the prices, most of the time in the development, in the oceanfront development, the prices between the pre-construction prices and the last sold unit rise around 41%. So we expect to see the prices increase at least 30% in the next 1 to 2
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Good
right.
to have it
And
in
what
mind
is
for the
the
client.
starting point of a villa right now?
So just to mention the condos, we have a 3-bedroom condo, which boasts 240 square meters. Beautiful views as well, incredible views in very small units, very small buildings. And the price in Canadian dollars is 1,180,000. And in USD, it's 880,000 in USD.
Still bargain prices for luxury living.
Yes. And for the villas, the first one is a 3-bedroom villa, and it has 300 square meters. And
Okay,
the prices are 1.5 million in Canadian dollars and 1,160,000 in USD.
okay, all right.
And the last one are the grand villas. So it's 4-bedroom villas. They both 435 square meters. And the price in Canadian dollars is 2.2 million. And in USD, it's 1,650,000.
Yeah.
And all of those units, they come with their parking space. All of the villas come with their pools. The grand villas come with 2 parking spaces. The small villas, it depends on which ones. 1 or 2, they come with their storage. They have a lot of amenities and of course, appliances are amazing. And there's also the possibility to customize a couple of things and improve a couple of things. We have we're going to have nice in here the chachalacas of Huatulco.
Yeah. Oh, wow,
There's gonna be
wow.
improvement packages and upgrades possible.
That is wonderful. So breaking ground next summer.
Yeah.
And then expected completion is.
We start delivering in 2026 until
Okay.
2027. So it's a 2 to 3 years timing
Yep.
frame.
Well worth the wait, I'd say.
Yeah,
I think so.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Now if people wanted to go and view the property right now, you have a landing, right? You have
Yes, we do have a
a-
platform on the land, and
Okay.
you just need to take a flight and come with them.
Okay, all right. I can't wait to bring people to these
Of course.
properties. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
views are amazing, and you can see the whales from the platform as we
Yeah.
did a couple of days ago. You can see the sunrise and the sunset, so you can go any time of the day to the platform and just enjoy the insane views that we boast. Yeah.
and the
Excellent.
quietness.
Yeah, and the
The
quiet.
quietness, it's incredible. Once you get there, the only thing that you can hear are the birds. That's it.
That's
So it's
wonderful.
just wonderful.
Because-
And it's 17 minutes away from the international airport. And we have some direct
Lovely.
flights from the US, from Canada, and from Mexico.
Yeah.
Lovely. And more flights coming into Huatulco all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're very close to Mexico City. We have at least 5 daily flights.
Yeah.
And it's a 50-minute flight. So if you want to come to Huatulco and, I don't know, make a stop in Mexico City, it's pretty nice because we love that town. It's vibrant. And when you live in Huatulco, for example, if you spend the winter here or if you live full-time here, when you just need your dose of city and shopping and museums and cinemas and stuff, you can go to Mexico City like this. Very easy.
Even Oaxaca, we have daily flights to Oaxaca, and it's half an hour, so it's just so close. Of daily
That's
flight, we have
wonderful.
4 flights a week, I think, to Monterrey. So if you like work in Monterrey or if you have business in Monterrey, it's also really convenient. And now we have one flight every day to Guadalajara, which is also like another big working hub.
And Dallas, which is a
In
big
Dallas.
hub as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, daily flights.
That's wonderful. That's the wonderful thing about Mexico. It's
Yeah.
so easy to get around, you
Of
know.
course. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to put links about the development in the video when we publish it. Links to so people can meet the team, get to know you guys and everything. It's been wonderful. Is there anything we didn't cover yet that we need to talk about?
I'd say it's pretty much it.
I think it's a good,
It's a good introduction.
it's a good introduction.
There are more details on the website. You have also a lot of details that I sent you. You have the brochures and all of that, and that's
Yes.
like even more information about the sustainability, about the architecture, by the architect themselves.
Yes, it's a
think-
wonderful brochure where somebody reading it can really go, okay, you really thought this through and, made it for comfortable, sustainable living. I love that part of the development.
Yeah,
Thank
I think
you.
it's pretty. It reflects the passion that we put into this project. I mean, we live Alma, we wake up Alma, we eat Alma, and it's true.
I love that.
We love what we're doing, and yeah, it was like the idea was really to bring things together that are hard to find. We were looking for places like this for us and couldn't find them, and then
So now
one
you're
day,
gonna build it.
like if you cannot find it, just do it.
Exactly.
That's right. I
Mm.
love that we're doing this because there's so much development in Mexico and you hear, the different horror stories and stuff. So to bring the personal side of the both of you, show everybody where Alma started, who it's coming from. I think people really need that when they're buying property in Mexico. They need to hear the story. So
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think that's a great thing.
And I
So
think the fact that we live here, that we want to protect it here, I mean, that's a key thing. And we realize also with the people here and the clients who already live here or come here on a very regular basis, they
yes.
like that because it's the guarantee. I mean, we're staying here all the time. We are here to stay more years.
Yeah,
We
you're
just
not
wanted to
just
develop
fly by night
nicely.
developers, right? You're
Exactly.
yeah, Yeah,
want it
you're
to be
very,
nice.
very invested with heart and soul into
Yeah.
Absolutely,
what
and
you're going into the project.
and we're keeping a unit for ourselves, so we want it to be as amazing as it can be, you know, like
Of
we're
course.
it's our lab.
Heart and soul, I like it. And actually,
Yes.
Alma means soul in Spanish. So the
Ah.
name is important as well.
Yeah.
And of course, we could talk about that for hours, but we try to keep it short. But if there is something we could add, I would say that in the very, very, very beginning of our project, the idea was to try to prove that it is possible to do a development that really cares about the people themselves, people that are going to live there. The environmental aspect of the project is extremely important. So respecting the environment of the location and the environment in general is also very important. And I've been working for 15 years in the real estate development industry in France and working with all the major brands. And most of the project I met or I sold, I didn't like them that much because there was always a lack of architecture and a lack of integration and consideration for nature. So yeah,
Okay.
the very beginning, the idea was, okay, let's prove that it's possible to do it better. Let's take everything into consideration, including the people and the nature. And architecture is a major art. So it's just the right way to improve people's life.
Yes.
It really can change your life. In the same place, you put a great piece of architecture or something that is really badly conceived, your life is not the same. So I think it was the very first idea.
And I think a lot of people realize
Balance.
that when we were all locked down during COVID,
Yes.
like how much architecture can change your life. I mean, having space, having views, having comfort, having light coming in. I mean, it changes your life literally.
It really does. And you're right. During the pandemic, so many people started realizing the space that they were in and looking for something different. If I have to spend this much time at home, I better have a more comfortable home, a more livable home, a healthier home, all of those things that people started looking at. And I mean, being locked inside your home, and now you've got this great development here right in the middle of nature. So many people are looking to get out of the cities and to get back to nature. So I just think that you've hit everything right on the head here, and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for doing this interview with me. I can't wait to get it out online for everybody else to see. And we'll have all your links in the description. So if people have any questions, they can reach out to you directly. Or they can reach out to me and I can get answers for them as well. But it's been such a pleasure, and I can't wait to come and see the project in person.
Very soon.
Come soon, come soon.
End of February.
Perfect.
With pleasure.
We're waiting for you.
Okay. Thank you both so much. It's been
Thank you
a
so much, Hannah.
pleasure.
It's been a
All
pleasure.
right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.